With the introduction of Blender version 4 and its subsequent releases, there have been some changes to certain things. As a result, I've decided it's high time to update some of my older tutorials. So in this video, I'll show you how to create glowing or emissive decals, and while doing so, I'll highlight some of the changes that have occurred. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of the default cube here, and let's create a cylinder. I'll just insert the caps like so, and let's just give this a holding loop and throw a subdiv modifier on top of that. Alright, so now the first thing I'm going to do is come down here to image, and I'm going to select mesh plane. Now, previously this had to be activated as an add-on, but now it's directly integrated into Blender. So I'll just go ahead and select this, and I'm going to select my image, and we'll come back. So I've gone ahead and brought my image as a plane into Blender, and let's just move that in the front like this and switch to material preview so that you can actually see this. Just a heads up, I'm using a PNG with a transparent background. So I'm just going to change the color of this mesh that we have here. Let's go ahead and make that a little darker and maybe make it metallic or whatever. And now what I'm going to do is add some subdivisions to this plane so that it has enough resolution when we slap it onto that cylindrical surface. We want it to nicely align itself with that. So I'll go ahead and add a subdivision surface modifier and change it from Catmull clock to simple, and then go ahead and apply that. So now we have sufficient resolution here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is get our shrink wrap modifier, and let's select the cylinder as our target. We will change this to project, uncheck positive, check negative. We will then increase the offset slightly. And then we will come down here to our material properties, and the render method I'll change to blended. Quick note, render method before this was called blend mode, and from what I understand, dithered corresponds to alpha hashed and blended corresponds to alpha blend. I suggest you try both and see what works best for your situation. Now we can select our mesh plane here. So now we come to the material properties of the plane that we've imported in, and we're going to change a few things here. So I'll come down here to emission and bump up the strength here to 6. And let's now go ahead and render this and see what our result is like. So you'll see that we don't have any bloom on this like you would see before. So in order to do that, what we're going to need to do is just shut this and come to compositing, and I will check use nodes here, and I'll create a glare node. And so let's go ahead and select that and slap that on here. Now let's just go ahead and check our render. So I'll re-render this, and now you'll notice we get these weird looking streaks, and that's because, let's just move this out of the way, we need to change it from streaks to bloom, and we will see what we've got here. We've got basically that bloom. So we'll now have to adjust the bloom radius. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit this slightly. That's gone ahead and reduced our bloom radius, but we'll bring the power down a little bit in the material properties here. Let's just go ahead and hit render yet again. Adjust that bloom a little bit. And there you have it. Before, you could just turn bloom on in the render properties if you're using Eevee and see it directly in the viewport. Now you've got to add it after the render like you did with cycles. Anyway, that's all I've got for you in this video. See you in the next one, or you could watch one of the suggested videos on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.